So hello friend, welcome back to my channel, and this is the Oracle Database Performance Part 4, and I have already three other performance Part 1, 2 and 3 uploaded earlier, so you can just view the things which we would be covering here. So we would be looking about the shared pool, all objects, $SQL area, optimizer mode, $SQL and $SQL area. So what is a shared pool? It is the memory area in the SGS system global area where we keep library cache, where we have SQL details, and it has like a dictionary caches, library caches, lock, PL SQL area, you know and basically it contains memory space for sequels, stats and all objects. These tables have the details about the object which belong to the all the schema. So when we describe this, it has the owner table, and based on the owner column, and based on that we can describe and find all the objects for that a particular schema and user $SQL area. So these contains the list of original SQL, one string at a row, and which are in the state of parse, execute, and parse, execute, and fetch. Optimizer mode, which are three, which is all rows, first row, and 100 rows, right? Yeah. So what it means that once these modes are set, based on that optimizer will work. So if I just first row, so it will just fetch first rows. If I put all rows, it will try to uh, you know before executing whatever the plan optimizer decides, it will decide based on the access to the number of the rows it should be. So $SQL, uh, yeah, so I've written like $SQL area twice. So $SQL contains the detail of the child cursor or the child query. Okay, so what do such child cursor or child query means? It means that the original SQL which are having the same textual sequels, textual content has the same hash value, but they are differing by the bind variable or literal values. So these comes as a child cursor. So yeah, so the objective is that to avoid the hard parsing, because the text of the SQL is same as the parent SQL, which has already been hard parsed once. Okay, now let's do a demo and a doc review. Okay, so we will connect as a demo user, and connect demo / Oracle, and we will flush the shared pool, alter system flush shared pool. Okay, okay, then we create the my object tables and note the number of rows in the table. So we go by this create table my object as select asterisk. So we will copy paste this here, create table my objects as select asterisk from all where owner is equal to demo. Okay, so we do this like this way. So what happens, like there is a table which is called a DSC user underscore tables, select table name from user underscore tables. So we just created the my objects, and let me count show user, which is I am right now here, select count asterisk from my objects here. So I just have one row, and yep, I just have one row. Okay, so I have to see select count asterisk from all objects. It should be more, but why, where owner is equal to demo. Okay, so I had a condition. Okay, let me run this select from all objects where owner is equal to demo. Okay, so select asterisk from all objects where owner is equal to demo. Okay, let's move with this. Okay, and or maybe I can just try to run drop table. Let's run this my objects. Okay, I put comment so that it get flushed out to disk if it is there. Let me copy this. Let's cancel this. Put Control C and okay, select count asterisk from my objects, which is one here. Okay, now I see connect as a oracle, so my system, and I have connected create table my object with okay, so I create my object again here. Okay, and select count asterisk 461. Okay, so the thing is, if you see here, these two tables are similar, create table my object, demo create table. The only thing is the change in the value. Okay, so the entry for this particular table will lie in $$ sqlarea, but for these two individual query with a literal demo and system, we would be in a $$ SQL. Okay, so it says how many version of this particular query reads. Okay, so let's try to run this query. Okay, now you got the select SQL ID version count from $$ sqlarea where SQL text is same. Select count asterisk. Okay, so basically okay, these two will be different because this text differs, but these two remain same because I'm just using the same thing. The only difference is when I'm running this query, I'm connected to system oracle. Where I was connected to the demo. So we'll see that what number of version which exist for the SQL statements in the shared pool. Okay, so let me connect to sysback and let's see. So it says 2 version count and this is my SQL ID. Okay, note the number of child cursor which exists for this particular SQL statement. So how do I get the child cursor? I have to query a SQL ID here. Okay, and we will get it. Okay, so it says child number 01. So the first child, the number is 0. For the second child, it's 1. Execution is 1. Load is 1. Parse call is 1. Okay. Now, first let's see what is optimizer mode. So parameter optimizer mode. What it is? It is all rows. Okay. Now change the session environment. So I'm changing the session environment to first underscore rows. Okay, this done. Now I can okay, so let me connect to this back here as a show user and show parameter optimizer mode, which is all rows. Okay, so it got changed for yeah, for sys user. Now I do it and I'll say so parameter optimizer mode, which is first rows. I run this query again, select count asterisk from my objects 461, and now I see that a new child cursor added. Why? Because yes, because I changed the optimizer mode. So once I change this optimizer mode, my explain plan for this particular query when the optimizer mode was all rows will be different when it is to the first rows. Now it says connect as a demo oracle. So connect demo / oracle, and it is asking to change it to again. So I should have another entry, right? Okay, yes, let's see. Okay, and then my text is same. I apply this, I see it as a 1. Okay, now see what is the version here. Okay, so I think it's not allowing me, but let me try once again. Okay, let me paste this here. Okay, so the version count is 4. So what does it mean? This we have queried in the v dollar SQL area. So we see there are 4 childs for this particular query. Okay, because v dollar SQL will show all the child cursor, whereas v dollar SQL will only show the parent one. Okay, so 0 1 2 3, and these has been executed this time. Okay, now note that Visual SQL area will show all the child cursor while the view will only show the parent cursor. So let's see, try to run from $SQL area and see. Okay, so I am getting the hash value 811768, plan hash value 38. Okay, now when I go to $SQL, it will have an entry 4 times, which is this same. So these are for the child cursor. So the objective of this was to, if I have the same query, select count asterisk from my objects executed under a different schemas, this all will result for an optimizer as a same set of query, and then optimizer put a reference to it inside the $SQL table based on the child number 0 1. And if I change my optimizer mode from all rows to the first rows, the and then I run this again query, the optimizer will again make an entry in $SQL as another child. So the thing we need to focus it here, the difference between $SQL and $SQL area. So the $SQL area will just contain an entry for the parent SQL, whereas the $SQL will contain entry for the child cursor. Parent and the child cursor, the difference is parent is select count asterisk from my objects, run under demo user, select count asterisk from my objects, run under system user. So the parent will be the first when it ran, and if I have to reiterate from 0, I flush my shared pool, alter system flush shared underscore pool. So what happens, whatever the query which is there, hash values, past query details gets flushed or basically removed from the shared pool, and the next time when I execute, the system has to hard pass it. Okay, so if we saw this, the difference between $SQL and $SQL area, and how having the same SQL text, the optimizers do not reparse the query if it is able to find an hash value in the shared pool. It will use that hash value to fetch the record, and if it is in another schema and there are these queries are being run in different schemas, select count asterisk from my object for an example, it will be counted as a child cursor. Okay, so cursor is a memory space. Okay, so that's all for this demo, and we will meet again in the next part.